Hey there YouTube, this is diveflyfish. Just want to show you. I have some magnesium round stock here. It's 1-inch round stock that I have machined the inside diameter here. I'm utilizing a piece of solid graphite that I obtained from the graphite store. And I've made a battery. I'm going to make multiple sizes. This is a larger 1.5-inch stock, as well as one with a smaller bore, but it's solid magnesium otherwise. Here is the first battery that I've made, which is utilizing a 1/2-inch graphite electrode. We have the magnesium, which is 1/8 inch wall, 1/4 inch down here, otherwise solid, just wrapped in PFT tape. I have a little piece of copper that's going to be utilized as a means to make a mold for adding water to the cell at certain points, so this is just sort of making a hollow cavity that will be removed. Just assembled this. The constituency of the 1/8 inch thick gap is made out of magnesium sulfate, zinc oxide. I used calcium carbonate in addition to doping with Galina and Iron Pyrite in the usual and customary fashion that I've done with most of my cells. I have not added any type of chloride ion to this whatsoever. In any event, I've heated the mixture over the stove to melt it into a molten state, added a little bit of fluid just so that I could make it runny enough to be able to insert this electrode, and then I charged it and backfilled the remaining portion there just so that I had it perfectly packed solid. So in any event, I have two analog devices, a voltmeter, which I have 0 to 3 or 0 to 15 based upon where I hook it up, as well as, unfortunately, it's somewhat of a broad scale milliamp measurement, so I don't have like a 0 to 30 milliamp hour reading. So what we'll do is, instead of using a DMM, which can be prone to larger issues, we're going to register and see what this shows. So in any event, I'll first read the milliamp hour rating on this, as it were, and you'll see it in the background. I'm going to place the negative on the magnesium wall here and the positive on the electrode. We're showing over, it's climbing just shy of 100 milliamps, okay? And that's on an analog meter, okay? So what I'm going to do is I will disassociate this, and I'll place it on the 0 to 3 volt range, because I'm not anticipating this being over 3 volts. And again, we'll do the same test, and we'll see what the volt rating is. And again, this is 0 to 3 volts based upon where I've hooked this up. So this says 3 volts. It's 15.3 and then 300. So just to let you know, it's the one underneath there, and it's the 0 to 3 volt registering. So again, we'll place the lead on the magnesium and on the graphite. It spikes over there 1 second. So it bounces back, be a little bit above about 2.25 volts by the analog meter. So in any event, so that's what the cell is showing. And again, this, you can see we have approximately a uniform, consistent 1/8 inch gap, 1/8 inch wall thickness to the magnesium, which was machined on the inside, and we have a 1/2 inch solid graphite core as the electrode. So in any event, we made this about an hour ago. We'll see what it shows after a couple of days, and we'll go from there. But I'm encouraged because the milliamp hour amount is very, very good, and this material is not soft. I mean, this is as hard as a rock, so it's not fluid, and we're not looking at galvanic, because the way I make these cells, I always ensure that I see an increase in resistance and pretty much boil out all the water before I'm done. So suffice to say, my test from disassembling my previous cells, there's not magnesium deterioration because of that oxide layer that forms. So for what it's worth, this is my latest little cell, and again, I'm going to be making a big brother version at some point in time, as well as a little brother version that will have an increase in magnesium wall thickness. So again, just sort of mucking about with the anode to cathode ratios and thickness and different diameters. So if nothing else, I'll be able to utilize normal graphite electrodes, even from a pencil, to make an extreme comparison. But I wanted to ensure that the electrode element is made out of the same material. Instead of going graphite versus carbon, I want to have graphite for graphite or carbon for carbon. So for what it's worth, I thought you might find this interesting, and I am encouraged, and we'll go from there. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great night.